this is Joe from Bad News Racing, and I am here with our new friend, Brandon.
How we doing, guys?
And we are back after a grueling 10 long months. We are finally back with our Build Series Sonic. Now it's time to get back to this bad boy. Last time, we did a PCV fix kit. We fixed some other coolant issues that we had. And then we realized the rear shocks were just blown out. Let's go look at that. Look at these guys. Look at that, just all crumbly. Nice, what is it, 13-year-old shocks. So what we're gonna do is remove those bad boys. And originally, we were going to do a bunch of testing with the original suspension parts, obviously, but since those are a no-go, we're gonna go ahead and just jump ahead and slap on our Bad News Racing Coilovers. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna set these guys up, we're gonna do a little install, show you guys how to do it yourselves, and yeah, get this bad boy back on the road so we can do our draggies. And we also, our friend Brandon here has got these bad boys working again. Our hub dynos. So we're very excited to be able to show you guys our gains on everything that we put on this car over here. So let's go ahead and dive on in.
All right, guys, again, my name's Brandon. I'm going to be taking the lead on this install here. So first thing you want to do to get access to the top of the strut here is, you see I already got one removed here. We're going to go ahead and remove the little cap off the wiper here. I'm just using a little flat head and pulling it up. The little cap pops off. There's going to be a 15 millimeter to pull those off. Then what you want to do is just give the wiper a good hold here. Lift it up. Give it a couple whacks and loosen it up. There is no easy way to do this. There we go. You can see all the buildup here. They are quite annoying to get off. You just got to work with it. So you can see it's loose.
Oh, nice.
All right, so after getting those wipers taken off, you're gonna take a clip removal tool and remove all of the clips in the front here. You just want to get under there. Pull these little push clips up. We will replace that later. Don't worry about that.
I heard it hit the ground, so we're good.
You also want to go ahead and unclip these little side supports here from the side of the windshield. Just got to get your hand in here and remove the little weather stripping clip that is up here so that these are loose. Final step to remove the cowl as long as you've got all your clips removed and whatnot, you should see it's pretty loose here. You're gonna go ahead and pop off this little cover here. I'm just using a flat head again to get up under there. And well, looks like ours is broken there, but there is a 7mm bolt to remove that, and your cowl will just come off. So now that we have the top hats exposed, we can go ahead and raise the car up and start working on removing the old suspension in the front. So to start off on the suspension here, I'm going to go ahead and just get some cables loosened up here. This is going to be your ABS wire. And then you want to go ahead and loosen up your brake line here. That way, those are disconnected from the suspension. The first thing I'm going to go ahead and try and remove is going to be our sway bar end link here. Again, this is an 18mm. I'm going to go ahead and try and buzz it off.
Nice.
And just like that, it should come off. If for whatever reason it does get stuck, you can take a 6mm Allen, stick it in here, and use a wrench to take the nut off. This guy will just pop out there, and you can put that off to the side.
Oh,
So again, I'm going to take the 21mm. I'm going to put a wrench on the one end to hold the bolt here, and I'm going to buzz the nut off the other side. Same thing for the bottom. And that's both of those removed. So now a little trick to get the bolts out. You're going to thread your nuts back on. And if you do have one, you should use a soft blow hammer here. That way you're not damaging the hardware. And we're just gonna you'll see the bolt release right there. I'm gonna go ahead and give the bottom one a go as well. Just make sure to watch out for your ABS wire. And both of those have come undone. Now you should be able to give this a pull. This is now released from the rotor and knuckle here. And the only thing holding this in is the 24mm up top that we showed before. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the other side ready to go for that. And then we will lower the car and do those. We're gonna go ahead and remove the driver's side now. The top hat is supposed to have a little cap like this, you know, covering the nut. This is a 24mm to remove here. Just a little tip here. We did go ahead and remove everything beforehand, but you just want to throw in one of these bolts here. That way when you're loosening the bolt from up top, the whole strut assembly does not spin. You can go ahead and remove the little top hat cap here, and the strut is ready to come out. There's no easy way of pulling this out. Just find whatever way you are able to fish it out. There we go. So now we do need this nut on the top here in order to transfer to the coilovers. So what you need to do is get some of your spring compressors hooked up here. That way we can take the tension off of this and get this off to swap over on the new setup.
It's nerve-wracking as hell. Jesus Christ.
So I don't know if you just saw, there was still some tension there on the spring there. You do want to make sure you have your compressors nice and tight and that you have all of the tension taken off the strut assembly to prevent any injuries with this. You do need to retain the 24mm bolt and this piece here with the bearing exposed. So you just want to confirm which side is your driver and passenger. I'm going to be starting with the passenger here. The way you can tell that is the orientation of where your sway bar end link goes and your brake and ABS lines. I did already go ahead and pre-lube all of our threads here, so everything is lubed up and good to go. To adjust your preload, our kit does come with the little dust protectors here to cover the preload there, but you will take one of the keys here, put it in the strut. So we're going to start all the way on the stiff side here. I just rotated that clockwise, and then we're going to start in the middle. So again, these are 32 way adjustable. I'm going to go 16 clicks to the middle. You will feel the little clicks there. And then your dampening is set for your front struts. And again, we do have the little rubber protective pieces that go in there to cover that. All right, guys, and we're getting ready to move on to the rear here. We do have our pole jack set up here, as you will have to put some tension relief on the strut to go ahead and remove this bottom bolt. We'll go ahead and get that one off now. This is a 18mm. So again, I'm just taking a little bit of tension off of that. That will just pop right out. All right, so with this here now, the next thing we've got to do is take off the plastic trims here to give us access to the two top bolts. So what you need is a 10mm for this plastic nut here, and we'll go ahead and remove this plastic trim clip. Once you have these off, you're able to pull this back a little bit, give yourself access to the bolts up top. They are 15 millimeter. And just make sure, since the bottom is disconnected here, to give everything a hold as you're pulling it out. Just like that, you got your rear strut out. Just gonna go ahead and repeat the other side. Next step you are going to need to do is take a pair of vice grips. You can give it a shot with the impact first, but we need to pull this assembly off of the strut. You can see how the strut is just spinning. Take a pair of vice grips, just go ahead and grab onto the strut itself. And this is what we're after to swap on to the coilovers. All right, we're gonna go ahead and grab our coilovers and our new springs. So you're gonna have your shocks. Make sure to hold in these little bushings here. They do come shipped with a zip tie on them. Once they are not zip tied anymore, they will just fall out. So make sure you are holding those in. All right, now we did already go ahead and adjust our preload here. So you'll have your preload adjustment here. You'll spin it clockwise for stiffness, counterclockwise for soft. We, again, already preset ours where we would like it. Make sure your locking ring is loose, as we will have to adjust the height once this is in the car. We did also go ahead and preset our height where we want the rear spring. In order to adjust the height on this, again, you'll just spin your locking collars. Get those snugged up there. And lock those together. I'm going to go ahead and pull the rear spring out. So all I'm going to do is give this a pull down. Give it a little wiggle because these bushings have been in here for a little bit. And your stock spring will come out. So again, I'm going to take the top absorber from this, pop it in our new assembly here, and then the coilover does come with its own bottom absorber there, you'll see there, because the stock one will not fit on the bottom of this assembly. So I've gone ahead, pulled out the bottom one. That's just going to go ahead and sit right there on that perch, and we will leave this there until we are ready to put our shock in. So for the strut assembly here, we do need to go ahead and put on that stock piece. It does come with a new nut. Make sure to use the new hardware. And just like the stock one with the strut here, the strut itself will spin as you are trying to bolt this up. So what I'm going to do, that way I do not damage the new piece here, is take a rag over the equipment. Get a good grip on that there, and then buzz this guy in. So again, with using the rag there, we didn't damage or mar the strut here, and we are good to go with this one. And again, make sure to keep track of the spacers here at the bottom. And these are ready to go on the car. I'm going to go ahead and just take these out during the install here. You're going to take your 15mm bolts, and we're just going to hang this guy. Once I've got those in there, I can go ahead and pull the plastic liner back. So now once you're here, we're going to go ahead and put some load on this assembly here. I think we've got plenty of load there. So I'm going to go ahead and unscrew the strut here and just try and line up the bolt hole as best as possible. Just make sure you thread this in by hand first. And again, do not fight it. So as you can see, this is going in nice and easy. Basically got it all the way in by hand. Now go ahead and tighten it up. I may need a short one. Yes, I do. Had to get a little bit of a shorter socket here, but I'll go ahead and tighten this up. And relieve the tension off of the spring. And you can come over here and see the spring is seated nicely inside there. We've tightened up our bolts up top here and tightened up our bottom bolt there. The reason we put some load on the spring here was to get our preload for the spring. So now that our preload is set, we can go ahead and tighten up the locking collar here. And again, you may have to go back and make some adjustments for whatever height you want and whatever preload you want. This is all user-based. So again, I'm gonna go ahead and just snug up this locking collar here. And that's all it needs. Nothing too crazy, that way you're able to get it back off. Our dust boot is right where it needs to be. And the rear on this side is ready to go. And there you have the BNR rear coilovers in. We've got our spring and height adjustment here. Again, we don't want you guys to get this mixed up. The bottom of the spring is your height adjustment, and what we just did here with the strut is your preload. All right, so you will probably have to make some changes depending what you desire and adjust the height with the spring there. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and put the new coilover together here. We did go ahead and grease up all of our threads here so everything is nice and smooth. I went ahead and lowered the spring. That way we had access to here when putting on our adapter plate and the top hat bearing here. So you just want to make sure you've got enough room here. So this, when it comes off of the stock spring, will look like this with this stock piece on it. You want to go ahead and pop this off. That way we can use the bearing portion of it. And you're going to go ahead and take our adapter plate with the spring isolators here. You want to make sure your plastic one is the first one to go on. You want to do your metal one then. Take our adapter plate, go ahead and slide all of this in together. You can see how that seats nicely. And I'm actually going to go ahead and lower this even more. That way this will sit nice and flush and we can get it tightened up. Now you can see that's bottoming out there. So I'll go ahead and take our 24mm nut that we pulled off of the stock suspension. Go ahead and run this down. And this really does not need much tightening. So I'm just going to go ahead and give the top hat a hold here and give it a quick buzz down. And that's all that needs. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is set the preload on the spring here. So as you can see, we've got some spring movement. There's no tension on the spring here. I'm going to go ahead and get our adjustment ring here just snugged up to the spring. To eliminate that spring movement there. And as you can see there, the spring is no longer moving. I'm going to bring this middle adjustment ring right up to the bottom of that there. And for our preload, I'm going to go ahead and set about 1.5 of our spanner wrenches here. So I'm going to go ahead and hold that middle adjustment ring. As I tighten up our spring here. Again, I'm looking for about 1.5, so I'm going to go about right there. bring this middle ring up there. I'm going to hold this spring in the top ring there and tighten that ring down. So there we have our top bolt tightened down. We have our spring load set. Again, you guys may have to adjust this to your liking, but this is where we're going to go for now. And then we want to go ahead and match the height that we're looking for with the stock suspension. So how I'm going to do that is take the stock suspension here with everything taken off of it. I'm going to go to about the first bolt hole just for quick and easy measurement from the top here. And that's right about 17 inches or so. So we're going to do a 1.5 inch drop on our front suspension here. So if I go ahead and measure this, that's at about 16 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and move our adjustment ring up here and bring this up until we are at the point we want to be. So right there, about 15.5 inches, give or take, will give us that 1.5 inch drop. Again, the stock suspension for us was 17. I'm going down to that first bolt hole at about 15.5. So now that we've got that set, I'm going to go ahead and bring this bottom ring just back down there, and I'm going to leave the coil here till we get it on the car. That way we've got some room to move stuff around that we need to do. So now what we're going to do, now that our height is set, we'll go ahead and just give that a double check here. Again, we got about 15.5 to that first bolt hole is what we're measuring to. Gonna go ahead and take the coil. You just want to make sure you're putting the right one on the correct side based off of your end link and brake line brackets here. So I do have the top mounting plate and the bolt here already set up here. And I'm going to go ahead and drive the top of that through the hole up there. And get the nut on by hand. And then you want to go ahead and lift up on this and tighten down the bolt. Get that snugged up. And now we will go ahead and lift the vehicle. That way we can use our jack to lift the hub into place here. All right, guys, now that we've got the car up, You do need to go ahead and raise the sway bar. In our application, we are using the stock end link here. A lot of you may want to go with adjustable end links just on your build preference here. But so I went ahead and raised the sway bar, got the end link in here. I will go ahead and get that bolted up. In the case that it does not tighten up as easy as it just did, you may need to take an Allen socket here and tighten the nut down while holding the end link there. Now, in order to get the knuckle up into here, we're going to jack under the control arm and get our 2 bolts through here. I'm going to have Nick over here help me with the jack, and we'll go ahead and raise this up. Right there. And now previously, we had to hammer the bolt out from this side with the nut on it, but we do need to get the bolt into the knuckle here through. So I'm going to take a punch and the hammer and just tap it through. You could probably just go ahead and tighten the nut down here, but I'm going to go ahead and just get these seated before I go ahead and do that. Now that we've got those tightened down, we did leave the bottom collar here loose. That way we were able to adjust it to get the end link in and our brake wires. So I'm going to go ahead and just ensure that we are snug down here. All right, now that we've got everything all snugged up here, we'll go ahead and pop our brake wires into the brackets here. And those just seat nicely like that. And our passenger side of the vehicle is installed. We will go ahead and get the driver's side done here and see you guys in a bit. What's up, guys? This is Brandon at BNR again. We went ahead and wrapped up the coilover install on our black Sonic here. We did go ahead and get this thing aligned right after we got the suspension on, and it immediately went on the dyno, as you can see here, to get ready for our testing and tuning phase for this vehicle. So in the next episodes, we're going to start throwing parts at this thing, getting it all tuned up. We'll show you guys everything along the way, and we will also be showing you guys the power gains when we add parts on it with the dyno graphs on screen. We'll see you guys in the next one.